is a music label and a game, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the game.
Yes, ma'am.
Yo, let me break it down for you. This story between Gunna and Young Thug is straight out of a movie. These two used to be tight, like brothers, running the game with YSL. But after that 2022 Georgia RICO case, everything flipped upside down. Cops came through heavy, snatching up 28 people, including Thug and Gunna, accusing them of running a criminal operation. Suddenly, their lyrics became evidence and their crew was under the microscope. Thug stood on his word and refused to take any deals, but Gunna, after sitting in jail for 8 long months and getting denied bail over and over, decided to take an offered plea. This plea let him walk out without admitting guilt, just saying there was enough evidence to convict him. At first, folks were happy, celebrating his release. Even Meek Mill shouted him out. But when that courtroom footage dropped, man, the streets switched up quick. People started calling Gunna a rat, clowning him for saying yes ma'am on the stand, and the love turned to hate overnight. Meek even deleted his tweet, blogs flipped the narrative, and suddenly Gunna was public enemy #1 in the rap game. But here's where it gets wild. Gunna didn't fold under the pressure. Even with the industry turning its back, he stood tall. He released a public statement on Instagram, making it clear he never testified against Thug, never snitched, and had no intention of helping the prosecution. His lawyer even doubled down, saying the plea couldn't be used against Thug or anyone else. Still, the streets weren't buying it. The so-called street code had people labeling him as a snitch without proof. Lil Baby unfollowed him, Lil Durk took shots, and even his longtime producer Weezy called him a rat. It looked like Gunna's career was dead. But instead of begging for forgiveness or running to interviews to explain, he let the music do the talking. That's when Bread and Butter dropped, and wow, Gunna came back swinging, throwing shots at fake friends and prosecutors, letting everyone know he wasn't backing down. Then came his album, A Gift and a Curse. No features, just pure heat. TikTok, clubs, radio, everyone was playing it. Fans started switching sides, saying he ain't snitch on me, and choosing the music over the drama. His fan base evolved, showing love for the artistry and not the gossip. Gunna wasn't just surviving, he was thriving, slimmer, focused, and on top of his game, he rebuilt his name while staying quiet and letting success speak loud. Meanwhile, Young Thug's journey took a darker turn. When Thug finally got released in October 2024, the culture exploded. IG stories lit up with love from Drake, Travis, Nicki, and more. It felt like a huge comeback was on the way, like Thug had beat the odds. But the celebration didn't last long. His plea deal came with crazy restrictions: 15 years probation, a 10-year ban from Metro Atlanta, no gang references, no contact with YSL affiliates, and even mandatory anti-gang presentations. Every move he made was under a microscope. At first, Thug even requested to work with Gunna again, showing he wanted to keep that bond. Gunna stayed respectful, yelling "free slime" during shows and performing their old collabs. But 1 month later, Thug flipped the script, tweeting, "Gunna, stop acting like we friends on the internet. I don't know you, my guy." That hit hard. Suddenly, their brotherhood was dead in the water. Instead of dropping new music to ride the wave, Thug started tweeting random shots at people, even risking probation by calling a DA investigator a liar. The judge warned him, but he kept pushing it. Fans were waiting on bangers, but Thug gave them messy tweets instead. When he finally dropped Money on Money with Future, it barely cracked the top 40. The hype was gone, and fans on Reddit started saying he lost it. His album rollout felt uninspired, and people questioned if the hunger was still there. While Gunna kept stacking wins and moving like a man with a plan, Thug seemed stuck, bitter, and struggling to find his lane again. This rivalry wasn't just music anymore, it was personal, emotional, and raw. Gunna had proven that growth and focus could flip any narrative, while Thug's drama threatened to drag him down further. And with both of them teasing big albums at the same time, the streets are about to witness a showdown like no other. Yo, the saga doesn't stop there. After Gunna came out swinging with his music, he wasn't just making hits, he was rewriting his whole story. Fans couldn't ignore the fact that he stayed out of drama, focused on his grind, and dropped nothing but fire. Songs like You Mean took over TikTok, clubs, and playlists everywhere. Gunna wasn't out here ranting or trying to prove himself to the streets. He was proving himself to the world. Even his moves off the mic spoke volumes. He quietly covered up his YSL tattoo, making a clean break without saying a word. No interviews, no messy online back and forth, just wins. Meanwhile, Thug was spiraling. Instead of locking in at the studio, he was firing off tweets and deleting them like it was a hobby. He even threw shots at Kid Cudi over testimony in a federal case, something out of left field that fans didn't understand. People wanted music, but they got drama. The tension grew, and Thug's attempts to keep his name buzzing felt desperate. Gunna, on the other hand, was looking healthier, sharper, and more motivated than ever. His fans were riding with him stronger than before because he delivered where it mattered most, the music. Thug's struggles weren't just in the studio, they were in his head. The weight of the past was eating at him. He saw Gunna rising, winning shows, stacking hits, and moving on while he was stuck fighting battles that didn't help his career. Reddit threads and fan pages started questioning if Thug had lost the magic. They missed the fearless artist who created hits effortlessly, but now all they got was a guy who seemed bitter about his former protege's success. It was clear Thug felt betrayed. From his perspective, Gunna was family, someone he put on, shaped, and built with. Seeing Gunna shine without him, that burned deep. Even though the legal facts showed Gunna never snitched, that courtroom footage haunted Thug, making him believe otherwise. It wasn't just industry beef, this was personal heartbreak. Fans could separate the music from the street politics, but Thug couldn't. The streets kept whispering and Thug listened to every word. Instead of channeling that pain into music, he let it spill out in messy ways that cost him momentum. The craziest part, Gunna didn't even feed into it. Not a single sneak diss, no clapbacks, nothing. While Thug was throwing shade online, Gunna was dropping hits and selling out shows. He was moving like someone who made peace with the fallout, like someone who knew the old chapter was closed, and fans respected that. They saw a man who took the hate, the blackballing, and the allegations and turned it all into fuel for greatness. By the time Thug finally released his single, the game had already shifted. Gunna was leading the wave and Thug was chasing it. His single, Money on Money, didn't hit the way fans expected, and the buzz faded fast. In the streets and online, people started to accept that Gunna was up and Thug was slipping. But here's where it gets intense. Gunna started teasing his final album under YSL. The title alone felt like a statement, like he was tying up loose ends before moving on completely. At the same time, rumors swirled that Thug was planning a comeback album to drop around the same date. The idea of both albums clashing had the culture buzzing. Two former brothers, now rivals, going head to head. That's the kind of drama you can't script, and the fans are ready to witness history. Now here's where everything boils over. The streets are buzzing, fans are talking, and the tension between Gunna and Thug is reaching a boiling point. Gunna is moving like a boss, staying cool, stacking up hits, and leveling up with every move he makes. He's already teasing his final album under YSL, and the streets know this one is going to hit different. It's like he's closing a chapter on his past and stepping into a new era with his head held high. The title alone sends chills. It's like he's saying goodbye to the old drama while claiming his spot at the top. Every move Gunna makes feels calculated, like he's always one step ahead. The fans love it, the industry is paying attention, and his haters, they're left watching him win. On the other side, Thug is fighting to get his crown back, but it's not the same game anymore. The culture has shifted. Fans aren't just looking for street cred, they want growth, they want hits, they want something real. Thug is one of the most talented artists of this generation, no doubt, but right now, his energy feels scattered. Instead of dropping back-to-back bangers, he's stuck in the shadows of his own tweets and legal drama. He came out of jail bloated and unfocused, while Gunna came out sharp and ready to conquer. That contrast says it all. Even Thug's attempt to diss Gunna felt weak. Fans didn't care about the sneak disses. They cared about who's delivering music that hits. Thug is talented enough to flip it all around, but he's got to lock in, silence the noise, and bring that fire back. Because the streets won't wait forever, the game moves fast, and if you don't keep up, you get left behind. Now the ultimate showdown is on the horizon. Gunna's final YSL album versus Thug's rumored comeback project. This could be the clash that defines their careers. If Thug pulls it together and drops something legendary, he could remind the world why he's a superstar. But if Gunna continues his winning streak, it might be game over for Thug's reign. The culture is watching, the fans are debating, and everyone wants to see how this plays out. At the end of the day, this isn't just about music, it's about survival, pride, and proving who can truly rise above the chaos. Gunna's already shown he can turn hate into power, and Thug's fighting to prove he's still the king. Two paths, two destinies, and one moment that's about to shake the rap world to its core. Stay tuned because this story is far from over. The real fireworks are just getting started.